We often talk about research and we often talk about industry, but the magic happens in the translation. We are shifting away from short-term engagements towards long-term, outcome-driven partnership that turn a laboratory breakthrough into a commercial reality. To guide us through this complex landscape of research to real-world impact, it is my pleasure to introduce our moderator for this session, Mr. Nixon Raj. Sir, please join us on stage. Mr. Nixon Raj, a technology leader with over 25 years of experience across healthcare, IT, government affairs, product engineering, and innovation ecosystem. He currently serves as Vice President, IT, ITES, and Emerging Tech at TIDCO, driving Tamil Nadu's research and development, knowledge infrastructure, and entrepreneurship initiatives. Welcome, sir. Joining Mr. Nixon on stage, we have a stellar lineup of industry titans. Mr. Ponram, an industrial entrepreneur with over 4 decades of experience in engineering solutions, leading Unicon engineers as the CEO, while actively contributing to CODISSIA and innovation initiatives. Welcome, sir. Mr. Mohan Krishnaswamy, Director, Technology and Innovation at Bosch Global Software Technologies, is an embedded engineering leader with over 25 years experience driving automotive innovation, talent development, and next generation technology programs. Thank you for joining us, sir. I would next like to call upon Dr. Chandrasekar, the Joint Managing Director and Corporate Director at Roots Group of Companies, who brings 40+ years of leadership across operation, strategic sourcing, plant engineering, corporate affairs, while actively contributing to industry bodies, academia, and public forums equally. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Mr. Vivekanandhan, the founder of Faraday Ozone Products Private Limited, an innovator with 29 years of experience, over 100 product innovations and 20 patents, pioneering sustainable ozone technologies for large-scale air and water purification. Thank you, sir, for giving us the honor and joining us on stage. Our final panelist is Dr. Brakaspathy, who holds a PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, served nearly 30 years at the Department of Science and Technology, shaping research funding, contributing to Science and Engineering Research Board, and is currently the advisor for the Office of Industrial Consultancy and Sponsored Research at IIT Madras. Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, the floor is all yours. We look forward to your actionable insights.
Check. A very good morning to one and all. It's such a pleasure to be here, and a wonderful panel I have. Sometimes I feel belittled here, sitting here, so welcome again, and thanks for your time to be part of this panel. So if you look at the topic for this panel discussion, it's sponsored research to strategic partnerships and industry perspective. And if you look at the composition of the panel, we have 3 local to global entrepreneurs. So they are going to bring the local industry perspective. Then we have an institution and a government experienced panel member, IIT Madras plus DST, a lot of experience in DST. So we're going to get insights from that side. And we have a global corporate R&D panel member. So I'm super convinced that this panel is going to be very, very the outcome from this panel discussion is going to be very impactful and useful. So we often hear industry-academia collaboration, and in today's morning hour, I think probably we heard it like 10 times, or collaboration or partnership. But if you just reflect on it for a second, is it really collaboration, or is it really more of a transactional relationship, right? So usually it is like a sponsored research project or a professor-oriented consulting, and not really deep collaboration. In fact, Mr. Balachandra also brought it, like, whether people are collaborating for years, a long-term relationship between industry and academia. And also, if you look at the current, not even current, any point in industry, there's constant shifts. And these shifts are due to supply chain disruptions, AI, automation, sustainability mandates, pandemic. Vish brought the point. It's a war world. It's not world war. So geopolitical situations. So these things are constantly disrupting the industry, and we need a collaboration model that is actually resilient to all these things. How we can keep the collaboration between industry, academia, and entrepreneurs going in spite of all these constant disruptions, be it technology, be it geopolitical, be it environment, so many other factors. So in fact, before starting the conversation, I wanted to also highlight few worldwide examples, how some best practices evolved over a period, especially from sponsored research to long-term collaborations. So if you look at Stanford, all of us are familiar with it. The first phase one, the early stages of Stanford, is all about like specific sponsored projects, industry sponsored some specific projects or some specific professor projects. The second phase was a formation of the Stanford Research Park. That actually changed a lot of things. The companies physically started moving there. They were embedded in the campus, and the faculty of Stanford were encouraged to commercialize. And then the third phase is actually it grew into multi-year partnerships, joint research centers. You have so many top research companies having their labs there. Then shared IP frameworks evolved. Then the whole venture capital ecosystem got integrated, and the result is Silicon Valley, right? So that's how that evolved. Now, if you look at a different model from Europe, I think it was also brought up earlier, is the Technical University of Munich and Fraunhofer model. So similarly, in the first phase, it was university-led sponsored research, few problems industry gave, and based on professors and all that. And also most of the time, the universities were focusing on basic research. Then they brought in this idea of an intermediate system. That's the Fraunhofer, which is the Applied Research Institute. So they said, okay, universities, you do the basic research. We will help you commercialize the research. And the important thing about Fraunhofer model is 70% of the funding for Fraunhofer comes from the industry. So there's huge commitment from industry in translating that basic research. Then the third term, now you see industry labs on campus, co-funded professors, and now most of if you actually talk to them, they have a lot of 5 to 10 year long-term contracts. So they kind of evolved like that. The last model, again, I want to highlight is University of Cambridge. Similarly, started with industry-funded faculty projects. Then the Cambridge Science Park came into picture. Then firms physically started embedding, and now we have like 5,000 plus knowledge firms in the Cambridge Science Park. So many spin-outs, very entrepreneurial ecosystem, and lot of long-term research partnerships. So if you're learning from these best practices, so the main question that we would like to address in this panel is, so how do we as in the state, the country, the universities, the research parks, move from this transactional engagement to a trust-based engagement. So from projects to partnerships, from funding research to co-creating the future. So that's exactly what we are going to discuss. And as I said, I have an excellent panel here to discuss that. I actually prepared introduction, but then you can't do justice better than Dr. Santila, so she already introduced them. So I'll straight away dive to the questions. So my first question, I'll address it to Dr. Chandrasekar, Mr. Ponram, and Mr. Vivekanandhan. From each of your perspectives, what is the current state and the level of industry engagement with our universities for research? So is it still, do you still think if it's project-based or individual professor-oriented, or it's just one specific sponsored research activity, or you're looking for a government-funded project that you want to be on board? A very, very honest current state analysis, I would say. This question is about for all of us to know where exactly we are. Right? So Dr. Chandrasekar, if I can start.
Yeah, please. May I? Thank you, Nixon. And these are my views and not my employer's views, because I represent a corporate, from local to global corporate. I am representing the Roots Group. So the views of mine, as interacting with a lot of institutions, and I'm on the body of a few academic institutions also, we are 100 years behind the three models you said. Anywhere near the Fraunhofer model, because we work with Fraunhofer. It is more of a professor, principal, here that the talent head or the person looking for placement support, kind of internship support guys come in to work. I mean, we wish that those things happen. And the first thing is that when the universities come in, I'm not demeaning any university or academics here, you're coming to offer us with solutions where you're not even able to understand the real world problems. Wish said that you must understand the real world problems. You cannot offer something to an institution which is running for 25 years with a lab and R&D setup to come out to say that give us your problem statement, we'll work on that. That doesn't work with companies, because our companies were built on stone by stone on stone. Nobody is prepared to invest on an R&D at the cost of a company money from an institution to support it. So we wish that we reach that place. In my opinion, we are still not there.
Hi, thank you for having me here. Just for introduction for everyone, we are a small company in Coimbatore. I started this company 29 years ago. From the R&D, small product development, then it is slowly come to a level right now. So we are into a deep tech where we make air purification and water purification and a sustainable technology. So the context is here, we are not much aware about what the overall industry, but I can share my perspective what we are doing with academia. So basically, we developed the technology like Ozone, so we have a lot of applications. For example, in every application of treatment of water, either it's aquaculture, cleaning the fruits, or wastewater disinfection. We have so many applications. As a small company, we cannot employ a lot of R&D in application research, where this is not our core area. Okay, the product we developed, but the applications are very wide. Okay, wherever the water is, someone has emission from the industry, we have solution. But different the technologies company have, but doesn't have the capability on going on doing the laboratory, or the field, trials, things like that. So we initiate, even though we signed up more than 5 MOUs with the different institutions, it is not, taking place. So we identified one area that, people, we talked to some of the universities and understand their capabilities, and then one of the faculty, they told that, their background. So we given this as a, initial trial project. It was happened in Bannari Institute, and we initially funded for research on vegetable neutralization, pesticides removal from the fruits and vegetables. So then they have all the spectroscopy and all the equipments in place. So they are able to provide a initial results which is positive, and this is the first research paper in the whole world, which is give us a confidence that to move forward. So then we moved for the second level of project where the faculty members are directly spend time with the farmers. They chosen Ooty as a place, and they went to the farmers and understand what are the chemicals they're using in the field. So with that data, then we source that particular chemical, and then try using our technology and how effectively it gets purified. So that gives a boost, and they give a consolidated detailed report for us. And that partnership data is really helpful for our sales team to promote this into the marketplace. So this is one of success story which we had in place. Similarly, we are also planning for different application areas. So one of the key challenges I am seeing that from the academia, there are a lot of faculty capabilities and the lab infrastructures, but that is not able to communicate to the industries. Okay, so some way if they are able to communicate about their labs, capability, equipments, and the faculty expertise, so then we can align with what industry needs. So this is the very early stage adoption started from the university and the industry level. So hope this going to get continue, but we are looking for some, as a small company, we cannot able to give detailed information. So incubators or someone in the middle, like CA, we have a separate program where the industry academia collaboration. So these things can bridge between the industry and academics, so that will help to move forward. That's my personal view. Thank you.
Dr. Chandrasekar wanted to add a few points.
For the positive note of it, I would like to offer I'm not giving you a problem statements where areas, if the institutions present here, research bodies, have the kind of infrastructure to support us in problem solving, any issues related to electric mobility or robotics and automation, or in mechanical engineering, advanced mechanical engineering subjects can definitely approach us. And we are in fact making use of certain laboratories, certain colleges. If I'm allowed to quote the names of them, I'm allowed, because Amrita Institution is one institute where they have really invested in real-time, high-quality, expensive laboratories. Manigandan is here from former Bosch guy, and they have, you have to invest in the real-time R&D facilities to make them available either for consultation or for advice. Until then, it will be a far cry for anybody. And moreover, what I would like to tell the academia here is that everybody wants to start on a COE on the first day of the year. COEs happen at least after 10 years. You'll have to get up and walk first before running. Vish is looking at me, and my job to look at you and say that institutions cannot start Center of Excellences on the day of the opening. And let me not name the institutions, they are doing it. It will be only it's going to be a big mistake for the investor, because the college is going to lose. They can step in to have professors, faculty put knowledge on them, set up laboratory facilities, set up laboratories first to make people train and bring in industry specialists to talk on them, and they can work on COEs. And COEs can definitely make people to think on research, and they go to innovation, and to go on to people like forge to keep their products there for incubation. This is my small suggestion to it. And with good respect to academic institutions, I'm not demeaning anybody. We wish that we have good academic research partnerships like the Fraunhofer or anything. And for example, I'm giving an open request to universities here. I work for I don't work for it. In fact, I work with the German consulate and embassy as the German India Roundtable chairperson. There is a requirement of medical textiles for all the IIMs, what are the aims of India, the 5 aims of India. They are looking to promote, develop products of low cost but high quality sanitary and high quality medical kits and things for the hospitals. They are looking for companies in Coimbatore or research centers who are working on those kind of researches for medical textiles. So they are prepared to fund. Technology University Dresden is funding it, and our Shankar, the foreign minister, J. Shankarji had signed an MOU with that Center of Excellence of TUD on behalf of all the aims of India. So there is an opportunity for everyone here. Anybody who's working on medical textiles can please reach out to me. I can guide them to the right person there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. I am working with universities and institutes for about 20 years. My association is very long. Always I try with going to college, and so I can become a little more young when we interact with students. My experience is with the institution and industry perspective. It is only one-on-one. It's a very short term. Currently, major things are happening. One industry has got a problem, go to university or a college institute, talk to one professor to whom you have confidence. I know this professor, I go and meet him and get some solutions partially. Rest he will take trial and error and work it out. Again, problem comes, they go to the lab. This is how most of the things are happening. Regarding the government-funded projects, now recently TIDCO has started funding through the University Research Program. Earlier, we had one model in CODISSIA. CODISSIA has got an incubation center. First time in an association had one incubation center. And what has happened is, when we discussed, they were not ready to give it to us. Why you do your job, we do, universities are already doing, why do you want to get into this? When we said, tie up with institutes and associations so that the practical experience is lying with, for example, we have got about 2,600 members. All are entrepreneurs, they have got practical experience. Out of that, we have identified about 400 people, they don't want to get into large-scale manufacturing. They want to do R&D only, surprisingly. Out of 2,600 members, 400 members, they want to do small business, but high value addition, like research, indigenization, innovation products. So that much capability is available. If academic institutes are tying up with this, this can happen. We have made a trial and we have identified one area that's exclusively for the defense, which was talking about defense challenge, IDEX exclusively. We have participated in 50 IDEX challenges. We have won 30 challenges. After that, in the 20 startup and 10 MSMEs have come. Only 50% MSMEs also joined. And now 8 entrepreneurs they have started. Out of that, they have become 8 as commercialization also. And we are working with the IIT also from some 5 product indigenization. It is happening. It's in a very, very early stage, I can say, compared to other countries. Because if we go to UK, they have got huge, all professors, they are very actively involved in doing this. And especially the IIT Research Park model, I think with that only, I think now TIDCO has started in Coimbatore. That's one of the successful model. The trust level is higher in this University Research Park because they are away from the colleges. Inside the college, the trust level is very, very less. Because this is like a co-creation. Companies go there and sit and develop it. This works model. This model will work. I think Coimbatore model is going to work, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll quickly summarize the local entrepreneurial perspective, right? There's no shame in reflecting and finding out where we are. Because if we have high ambitions, we have to exactly know where we are and then tune our initiatives to start from there. So now I think you heard loud and clear that our base is very low, and the academia, industry, all of us, government has to get together and really shift this. Now, I'll shift the perspective to a global R&D perspective. So now we heard the local perspective, actually local to global perspective. Mohan, Bosch operates R&D all over the globe, very big corporate, and you are known for R&D. So what convinces a company like yours, right, to enter into a research partnership with a local university, instead of, say, outsourcing it to another accomplished research center anywhere in the globe for which you have access to, or you have a very strong corporate R&D. So what are the things that you look for, and why do you really tie up? I know you are working very much with the universities locally. Why do you do that? What are the things that you look for?
Thanks, Nixon. I think that's a valid question. Why would a company like Bosch, who has about 400,000 employees and about 7,000 in Coimbatore, can't do R&D, and why do we even go out? So maybe I would set the context, what do we do? So even though we have our internal workforce, we have been working with leading universities across globe. It's not just only here, across globe. You take US, you take Germany, you take Singapore, China, India as well. Yeah, most of the IITs, we have collaborations with it. And what we do is we classify our research into two categories. One is fundamental research and second one is applied research. Fundamental research was always running into our blood, which starts like, okay, now it's more of technology forward. We try to push the technology inside, looking at a 5-year horizon, 5 to 7 year horizon. So we go to the market afterwards. We will be the leading technology provider. And then things started changing just before COVID, like can we focus on applied research, right? So applied research, given the time frame of what we can do it in 3 years. And that is when we realize the engine is not moving fast, what we wanted to, right? It has been grown in our blood on fundamental research. And for applied research, it's 3 years down the market line, as Vish smiles at me like, yeah, startups are faster, yes. So that's when we started to explore with the universities how we can speed up. And that was still a phase where we try to do it with the professors and then we try to make it a little bit more faster and faster. And what happens was after COVID, this applied research has really gone into the more towards transformation, the industry transformation, business transformation, technology transformation. And these 3 years, with the AI era coming inside, now it has become like what we can do to really hit the market in 1 to 2 years. This is what is the speed that the industry is looking at. And to really catch up with the speed, I don't think an industry alone can do these wonders overnight, right? It takes a lot of time to transform its own people, its own competencies, its own technologies. And for the topic, and that's when we said, okay, can we move forward, let the research groups within the corporate work on this horizon of fundamental to applied to transformation? Can we look at market backwards? So what is market backward? What does the market need today? So there is a legislation coming in. There is a war on materials. There is a war on technology. So how fast we can pick up from there and then bring it inside and convert this into your technology and go to the market. So all the market backward topics, we look at collaborating as quick as possible with the local ecosystem, whatever is possible. So one such topic is with us, and that's when we thought, okay, we use the local system, ecosystem, and then really hit the market with that speed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohan. So we'll again quickly get institutional perspective, Dr. Brakaspathy. He not only brings the IIT Madras's experience because they have a center exclusively for sponsored research and strategic partnerships, and he also has spent close to 30 years in DST, so he was also going to bring that experience. So how do you view from the institution, what are the signals that you see that people are coming for long-term collaboration, not just one-off project? What are the signals that you look for, and what is your perspective, especially in IIT? Is it still in a similar stage of professor relationship-based research engagement, or just one-off sponsorship, or are there some long-term sponsor collaborations going on? If so, how do you identify? What are those signals?
Okay, so I am, in a way, I'm an odd man out. I am not from industries, so I cannot give an industry perspective, but I can give my reflections on 30 years of working in the government and about 7-8 years in IIT Madras. The industry academia engagement, we have come long way. Since actually I joined DST in 1989, so we have come long way. And of course, we have to go yet long way to catch up with 𝗏𝗏 or Stanford or something, but we are progressing. Like our country is progressing. The science and technology interface with industry academia is also progressing. Say 1989, when I joined DST, we still have DST. We have a technology transfer, technology development and transfer division, and also instrument development program. We used to get projects on technology development only from academics people, and there was no industry was involved. As a result, any technology which is developed will not be translated into commercial or any value. And we also had actually personally involved in green chemistry program where we tried to address the pollution problems of dye and pigment industries in Ankleshwar in Gujarat. We had like this brainstorming session with industry, inviting industry people, academia, all good reputed people, and identified 5 problems which pigment industry is supposed to address. And industry was willing to fund that. Of course, government will fund, and industry was ready to take that findings to the market, but unfortunately academia was not ready for collaboration, even though DST government was willing to fund. So that was scenario about 1990. Now, in fact, in 2000, when Dr. Ramasamy, our secretary DST, was, he remarked, in DST only science is there, T is missing. Okay, so from 2000, late 19th or early 2000, we have come a long way. Government has launched many programs to essentially to engage industry academia, some notable being the Technology Development Board, 𝗪𝗱𝗏, Patent Facilitator Cell, BIRAC, and then Innovation Cell. Many programs related to entrepreneurship, NIDHI, and programs like Impact, UAY, and also recently government has launched a separate entity called ANRF. Actually, it was earlier SERB where I was worked, ANRF. Now, very recently, RDI, Research Development Innovation Fund, which was actually launched with a 1 lakh crore money for the funding exclusively to the startups and private sector industries to commercialize in areas of strategic interest and sunrise sectors. Of course, that innovations, the funding will be given not from the government, from the government directly. It will be evaluated by the second level fund managers, and then will be funding given. Funding is not in the grant in aid mode. It will be on the loan, long-term loan. So what I am saying is we have come long way because of all these initiatives. If you look at our industry investment, private sector industry investment in the national thing, it was used to be about 25% of GDP, now it has come to 40%. So we have improving, and of course we have to improve further. There is no deny on it. And better institutions like IIT Madras and many other IITs took advantage of these developments, and also through their foresight leadership, they established like research park. And of course, the results are really evident. IIT has been #1 last 10 years, and then they have generated 510 startups, 53,000 crores value. Every year, the 400 patent is our 1 day per patent per day is our director's vision, and we already crossed 400 patents last year. And then 100 startup is the plan. So we are doing well. Only thing is, as an institution perspective, of course, the engagement is on all aspects. I mean, mainly on sponsor projects, consultancy, and centers. Some of the centers, some of them are actually in the long term, like Saint-Gobain. But there is no. It all has to come. In some sort of a phased manner by through your trust and your capability and your delivery. So this is actually a long-term thing. Only thing is, of course, IIT Madras is able to do, and now, of course, TIDCO is embarking on similar thing. So hopefully the result will come from research park also. It's good. This is what, but then this has to be replicated in Tier 2, Tier 3, and of course it has to go to many places. Then only, of course, India will progress. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So I think, in fact, you use the word trust and actually that translates to my next set of questions. So we quickly looked at the current state and we got the different perspectives. So now, if we have to transition into long-term collaboration between industry and academia, the elephant in the room really is trust, and trust here is trust in the capabilities, trust in the quality quality of the deliverables, commercialization pathways, intellectual property rights sharing mechanisms. So these are the very vital if we have to go up the ladder and have long-term collaborations. So again, I would like to stick to the same theme that, we get a local to global perspective, then a corporate R&D perspective, then an institutional perspective. Is first to the three of you, maybe I'll start with the reverse order this time, first with Mr. Ponram. So even industry funds or co-funds research or government supported research, what does it expect in return? That will build this kind of a trust, like is it full ownership, shared IP, faster commercialization, revenue sharing? What are the tangible forms of trust that industry wants to see or experience?
Thank you for this question. Really, what industry expects when it gets, whether it's funded by industry or it is not funded by industry and fully funded by government also, what industry expects is full IP rights, because they are into business. They want to make use of the entire opportunity for themselves. This is what industry expects. Second thing is how they will trust an institution. They will try to understand how many projects or how many IPs an institution has filed. Out of that, how many commercialized? What is their capability of doing research on the commercialization of the projects? Simply, I can put a question to all the academicians here. Out of IPs you have filed, how many made an impact in the society? You can go and think of. What is the percentage you can think of? I don't know the data, but it is very, very less. Many IPs are getting filed, and how many has become a product or a service or a solution to the problem of society? This we have to relook. Industry looks at fast commercialization. And lab to market, what is the speed? Because I have told you already, I am working for about 20 years. The speed is currently, we are looking at it's very, very remote. By the time solution is available, market need is changing. It's a fast changing market. Industry wants a solution immediately. How the universities and academicians are ready for it? One challenge, because I'm already negotiating on the IP, he raised a point. I was negotiating for 100%. But academia also, they have also done the work. They also expect something. Recently, we signed one MOU of shared IP. It's a very good thing, because they can take the credibility of this IP, but only thing is IP cannot be given to somebody else. They can own the IP, but it is given to the sponsor who has sponsored the project. This understanding we have made, both of us are happy. This model, I think it worked. Maybe others also it may work. You can try it out. Revenue sharing models also possible in this. Trust can improve. If any project is done, some revenue can be generated. Even universities can ask for a revenue sharing also. Industry will be ready. The amount of the problem industry has got is huge, huge. Unlimited problems are there, challenges are there. How industries, academicians are ready, universities are ready, still a question to be answered. And one issue which I have faced as a trust problem is the professors depend on the students. When one semester is over, again they are bringing new students. That is very difficult for any industries to have a trust. One solution, not only problem, we never raise a problem, and I can suggest one solution is, there are alumni available. You can take them as a full-time so that they can work, there will be a continuity. You can have a panel of alumni who can contribute to this. This will have a continuity, because students will go every semester. This is how we can build a trust for the industries to come to the universities. Thank you.
So taking on the word trust, I just take it up. I would just address it to the S&T, Science and Technology, division. I'm not naming the institution, not in the industry as well. Like S&T gives funds to universities they are familiar with. It's not the project, it's not the DPR, it's not a subject that's important for them. It is institution, whether it is starting with some letter or something, which part of the country, have they taken up money from them and they have delivered, it's not. So it is not S&T. My request to the S&T, for the team sitting on the S&T, is to look at the projects and the subject of it and the problem what they're talking about it and how is it going to be societal. I mean, it's a suggestion again, they're not complaining about anything. Because I've experienced, I've seen it.
That was a separate panel discussion.
And I'm not feared for it. I'm just telling you what I faced it. The second thing is that S&T is funding projects which, in my opinion, when some company in Indus Coimbatore is partnering it with, pretty well knowing that it is not going to be functionally okay for the market. They have a fund of 10-15 crores and they want some industry, recognized institution, recognized company, and they make out a product, pretty well knowing that this is not going to be functionally okay, but they go with it, the product was signed, the IP was given, and they are sharing it. So these are areas where I think the trust has to be reversed, looked up at, sir. Industry has to be seriously taken up. And Coimbatore, for that matter, any industry in the country are not any more charitable institutions. They are not looking at CSR initiatives, they are looking for strategic R&D partnerships where, like Mr. Ponram said, we invest. We want to get deliverables fast. And there are a lot of opportunities, sectors like aerospace, EVs, semiconductors in Coimbatore, and focus on commercial outcomes. Nixon said, industry is no longer looking for academic outputs alone. The expectation is on applied research that delivers prototypes, process improvements, and IPs together with that. And there must be a talent pipeline as a strategic objective so that people can be employed even after training or something. And having said, I'll just give few examples of successful academic industry partners of Coimbatore, sir. With academia no longer peripheral, they are becoming more of core instruments of innovation, talent development, and technology-led industry transformation. From the industry perspective, strategic partners of deep tech growth in Coimbatore. For example, Coimbatore's partners in academia are increasingly aimed at accelerating deep tech installation and strengthening global competitiveness. For example, in aerospace and defense capability, institutions seek partnership with College of PSG and companies like LMW, companies like Opel. They are talking with PSG, coming out products successfully also. The industry goal there is to develop advanced testing infrastructure and lightweight material research to meet aerospace manufacturing standards, and certain success has been happening also. On another areas in electric mobility innovation, collaboration between 𝗪𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏 and companies like my own employer Roots and companies like Precol, it's been very successful and we are getting a lot of benefits out of it. The industry goal there is to have a very strong R&D on battery safety, thermal management, and smart powertrain systems for reliable EV components. And areas where Vish spoke about digital transformation in traditional industries. I have Shankar here. Partnerships involving KCT or Congo Engineering College with the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and a few MSME clusters are successfully going on. There are success stories also. The goal, industry goal here is to implement AI, robotics, and Industry 4.0 technologies to modernize those industries which are in the Coimbatore periphery, like for example, pumps, textiles, and manufacturing process. And the sunrise sector is semiconductor and power electronic capability. Institutions like KPR are successfully doing with companies like Caliber Interconnects, Gravetown Motors to build future-ready technologies. The goal here from the industry is to develop power electronics research, embedded system expertise, and skilled semiconductor workforce, sir. So the Coimbatore industries want strategic partnerships with academia for becoming critical technology developers, talent pipeline, scaling deep tech manufacturing. We are there open to you for any support, sir. Thank you.
I think, Dinesh, you should take notes. I think there's a lot of success stories as well, I think, that we should build on. But
end up positive as well.
Okay, we still have some time. So, again, what's the tangible form of trust that you see?
In my view, as an industry, there are two areas in business. I come from the engineering background. So the engineering product, what generally industry has, may not, we are not seeing that academy can bring the same technology to table. Maybe in the fundamental research, yes, the applied research, there are a lot of gaps. So the research should go into a deployable level for the industry. So that is the trust gap in industry between academia is still there. So that can be matched or patched by industry with the cross collaboration teams. I don't know how that's going to happen, but a small team and doing a fundamental research may not solve the industry's problem in my point in view, because there are too many academies in the whole area. So very selective, universities can solve problems, but as a whole, the industries are many and universities are many. So that is one area which we feel the trust is missing. And moreover, once someone is developing a concept or prototype, may not be deployable from the industry side, because it need a lot of next level product development, optimization, manufacturability, and compliance side. So that is where we are not seeing trust is happening for the industry from the universities. And we need to have a clear framework on IPs. So far, there are two sides of business. One is on the core product engineering, another is in the business development. So in the business development, a lot of AI advancement, the strategies, there I feel that universities can really help, because adoption of AI technologies, or how we can visualize our past data about our sales, which product is pushing in the market. So these are the areas easily academics from MBA or business schools can easily add value. That definitely we can easily adopt from the industry perspective, which I'm seeing that is a lucrative connection. But in this engineering side, there are some gaps on the trust. So the cross-functional aspect of it, maybe patch the industry trust, so that can build and take it forward. Thank you.
Are tangible forms of trust that we need to really build. And now moving to Mohan. So again, to learn from some international experiences, how you go about sharing IP? What are the different commercialization mechanisms and in different geographies? If you can share some examples.
Yep. Thanks, Nixon. I'll make it a little shorter. So we have experiences, good and bad. Yeah. So in past, we used to work between lawyers of us and lawyers of university. 1.5 years before starting a topic, who shares the IP? For 1.5 years, 1 week, one email will go from us. Another week, the email will come from the university. This was like a ping pong. And nobody can control our lawyers, because they are even more powerful than our CEOs. What they say it's final. That's it. Yeah. And this was happening in Germany and between the university and Swiss. Then we realized, okay, if we cannot solve it in Germany, I don't think we can even solve it in India, because that's even more complex, because there is protection, copyright, it's even more very tough and standard in Europe and not here. And we realized, okay, this is not really speeding up, so we have now come out with a new model where I think it should speed up at least. So there are two different styles. One is the primary IP and the other one is the secondary IP. So primary IP is the one in a research project like this. Whoever the idea originator is, then they will own the IP. So if the industry comes with the concept, they own the IP with us. If the academia comes with the concept, the IP belongs to them. The secondary IP is one where we always call it as welcome to the world of problems. This is where a joint idea, where the concept claims as it's a joint discussion, joint workshop, joint IP. I think there is still a complexity exists, but that we can also sort out. So that's why we try to make our contracts clear that the primary IP who it belongs to and secondary IP where it belongs to. And we also make sure that we get into the contract only if there is a commercialization interest behind that. And we clearly state that commercialization belongs to the industry, which is Bosch.
Thank you. And Dr. Brakaspathy, can you also share what are the typical IP sharing and commercialization pathways that you work at IIT Madras?
Yeah, IIT Madras, this is actually, there are very strict, the IP inventories from the academic institutions. Whoever inventor gets that own the thing. Okay, it can be, and also it can be exclusively to institute, exclusively to the sponsor, or it can be joint. also. Okay, this is, so we have a flexibility. This all we decided at the beginning of the signing the contract, so that there's no dispute or no animosity later. Regarding the revenue sharing, this is 72 is shared by the go to the inventor, and 28 comes to the institute. So this is the, if it is 72 is shared by the sponsor, then obviously that will also be split 50-50, all based on the contract which is signed at the time of negotiation and then finalizing it. This is the broad IP. Yeah.
So this is the beauty of this panel discussion. The first 10 minutes we discussed a problem, and then the second 10 minutes there are already some solutions available for us, right? So I think we don't have to start from scratch. So I don't know if Dinesh is here. How are we doing on time? So I can skip some questions, 5 minutes, okay, because I also want to give some time to the audience. So just a quick fire round. I would request all my panel members to, maybe spend less than 30 seconds. What would be your one advice both to industry and academia for change? One very critical advice, if we have to move up the ladder of industry-academia collaboration. I'll start with Dr. Brakaspathy.
See, the industry investment in R&D is 1.46% of their sales, okay, private sector, and PSU is still less, 0.4%. Actually, it has to increase simultaneously if we have to be on par with German, US. They are all 70% is by private and only 30% government. So we are way figure. So that has to be improved, increased from the industry point of view. This is my first, my one point. Regarding academics, still our curriculum is still not aligned to the industry's need, particularly in the tier 2, tier 3. The institutions like IIT still they evolve, they modify, but academic curriculum has to be, and they have to involve industry people as part of the framing the curriculum. Yeah, thank you.
Continuing with that, the curriculum adoption through the industry. This is happening only, in practical it is happening 1 or 2 hours in a year. So that has to change, and probably once in 3 months, the industry and academia has to sit and, collaborate in detail so that the fast adoption, and everyone we are hearing now, the AI and technologies are very moving fast. So the number of hours to spend between the industry and academia has to change. That is one of the important aspect. And also for the research faculties, the duration for the teaching and I think we need to add at least 10 hours allocating for the industry in a week. So that is something, the research faculty can either go to the industry or do on his project what is in hand. So that is one little aspect I'm thinking from the industry perspective, institution perspective. From the industry perspective, I am looking for, we need to list out some of the problem statement, either through the website or reaching out to academics. So where anyone from the academics, students who is interested, faculty interested, so they can, post interest towards the solving the industry problems. So that is the proactiveness from the industry has to come from, these are my list out problem statements. So that is missing. So without the industry's listed problems, academics cannot able to solve. Somewhere, I'm not suggesting to put publicly on the website, but somewhere there might be a bridge between, some institutions can bridge that gap. That will be helpful for academics to take the challenge forward. Thank you.
The IP part, like no company would be willing to give an IP to somebody else and have somebody have the leash on the neck and work on the product, which they'll not be able to scale up product because they'll be only worried about what will happen if the IP person sets it back. So I'm not comfortable with any sharing IP model. If the product, if somebody is selling it, let them get a royalty for it and give the IP to the, from the industry perspective. And from the engagement part of it, I'm suggesting that I'm borrowing Dr. Bala's word of academics, industry, academic, theory, industry, theory. That's the model that will definitely work out. Like you mentioned that, I listened to you. I would suggest that the faculty development programs are more important than the student development programs. The teachers, what they teach, are taking some books prescribed from university, printed about 20 years back, 15 years back, if not the latest 5 years back, and they are allowed to teach what's been told there. They are not allowed to refresh themselves with the latest technologies. So when they come into the industries, look at what we have problems at all, they can really understand what the industry needs, and they can go back, look for the particular theory book, study, teach, and then come back ready for us. The curriculum can be adapted later on, and rather than asking for problem statements, if these FTPs help your people, staff and faculty, to come to sit with us, work with us, and understand the problems, they can suggest while leaving that evening, this could be a solution. We look forward. Thank you.
What industry must change? Because I am from industry, this is what a message which I would like to give it to myself. Change has to happen from short-term to a long-term association with institutions and universities. Short-term, because this is recently happening with one of the institutions, ourselves. We started with one, now going for second. So there are talent pool available in the same institute. We need not run behind so many institutes. There is a possibility of utilizing the same tool. There will be a good relationship. Mutual trust is already created. This one thing is possible, which industry can adopt. This IP sharing model, what Mr. Mohan said, that's very fine. Because who has brought the idea, they can own the IPs. This should be fair for both. And industry should value the academicians, their knowledge creation and publications. We should allow whatever research they have done, we have to allow, because they have a scoring for them for publications. What academia must change, I have noted on 2-3 points. Their research, already I mentioned it, they have to shift from insular to impact-oriented research. What is going to impact the society, they have to think of. Identify the problems or challenges in the society and do the research relevant to the society and current days of problems. This is what I look at. And commercialization, they have to concentrate on the commercialization. Developing a product which is so expensive or it cannot be taken to the market is of no use. And it should be very fast. Need of the market, in that particular time it should meet. And regarding the bureaucracy in IP, because we also had a better experience of IP sharing, lot of discussions, so many bureaucracy level, it never ends. I think they have come out, Bosch model will try to say, future I will give this example, so let us take the advice of Mr. Mohan to whenever we interact with the institutes. I think that gives a good solution to us. One more thing is, I don't know, IIT is incentivizing the faculty for doing this industrial research. I don't know about other institutes, whether they are really getting any incentive for industrial collaborations that we have to look at, we have to collect data. I don't have any data on this. I think Dinesh can work on this data. And they should get incentivized for doing it. Otherwise, they will not have interest. For the same salary, if you ask them to go to the industry and work, only the traveling allowance is given, it is not going to work. It has to happen. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. From my side, I would probably look at this into 2 different perspectives. So if you ask what industry has to change, I think industry is undergoing a very large transformation. Because of AI, because of transforming business landscapes, etc. So what sort of transformation? We are expecting that the human mankind, before the invention of fire, after the invention of fire, what has really changed? So such a level of transformation is expected from the industry. And the industries will undergo this, they will scratch their head, they will really come like wolves hunting for solutions and technology space. This is what industry is going to look forward in the next 3 to 5 years. What could academia do in this context is like you can look at, don't wait for industry to come and tell you what is the problem statement that you want to work with. Rather, you look at the ecosystem, what's changing. Everybody is talking about AI. Now I will give you a different perspective of AI. So if AI, everybody has to work on it, everybody is going to work on these AI-based solutions. But to enable the AI ecosystem, what is exactly needed? You would need large chips. Memory chips are going to be a huge shortage in the coming days. And then your GPUs. The requirement in these industry space is going to be enormous. And then to enable the data centers. For a country like us, the data center ecosystem is less than 1%. So we have to set up very large data centers. Setting up large data centers is not just putting up some CPUs there. It needs a huge ventilation system. It needs a large cooling system. Water is going to become scarce. Water is like magic for a country like India. So how do we make use of efficient use of water as a resource? So these are areas which industry has not thought through. These are something industry is also looking at. And if you can come out with such kind of solutions, viable solutions into that space, industry will pick you up. They will grab you. You don't need to even go and pitch there. This is what is the transformation that happening on both the sides, and both could change in this direction.
I got one more point. Most of the industries having data about 20 to 30 years. With the use of AI, how that can be, here's a data is an asset now. Instead of so many assets, when money, like money, now data is an asset. How this academy is going to take up, especially Coimbatore, a huge amount of requirement is there for data science. Data mining, there is a huge scope. If you can come out with proposals, I think it will be very useful to the industries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for those beautiful improvements, and some of it is from the industry perspective, some of it from the academic perspective. Due to lack of time, I'm not summarizing, but I think you heard it loud and clear. I think it won't we won't do justice if you don't take some questions from audience. So maybe depending on the time, how many? Two questions. That gentleman there, please.
This is Professor Ramchandran from Bardea University. So I'd like to share one more success story which is emerged from Bardea University. So we developed a plasma technology, which is a green technology, to recover gold from jewelry waste. So we introduced this one in the recovery of gold in the local industry, Coimbatore. I don't want to mention the industry. If you want, I can mention. So this technology is being practiced since last 5 years actually. So completely it's developed and it is practiced. In Mumbai, there are 2 more companies are also practicing this technology. So when they approached, the industry approached me in the university. So can you develop a technology for recovering the gold from jewelry waste? Then I said, okay, I can do it. I can try in my lab. Then after doing the proof of concept, they were interested to take this technology. Then asked me, why not to make big machine? Then I said, I don't have any experience to make this machine in large scale. Then the chairman told me, okay, sir, I have confidence on you. Okay, even if it is a failure, don't bother. Please go ahead. Then I developed this one. Now it is practiced in industry. There are a few more industries also. Then my question is, so how many industries are ready to take this type of challenge?
No, first of all, congratulations on successfully commercializing, and glad to hear that a local solution is being used. Anybody specifically want to take that question?
Here, you have a solution.
Yes, sir.
From industry side, how you can commercialize this is like what industry we do it. When I have a product or a solution or a service, normally I have to approach the buyer or the user. Like whatever you have done it, the right industries, for example, if you are able to develop from gold separation from waste, like this now Gold Park, there is a park is coming up here. Jewelry park is, the government of Tamil Nadu is building. There is going to be a huge potential for you. One example I am giving you. Like this, there are many places, many industries are available in Coimbatore alone. How even small size, many jewelers are available in Coimbatore. I think a separate park is coming up. So much jewelers are in Coimbatore. There is a huge market for you.
I have inquiry. Always, I have even every week I have more than 5 inquiries for the waste treatment actually.
Okay.
Not only for gold, actually for some other process
Yes,
also.
yes.
But when they come to the investment side or revenue, this again.
You give the project, sir. I will arrange for an investor that will be commercialized. I'm giving you a guarantee.
I think we can definitely take it
do that.
offline. It's a very
Discuss with me, sir. We'll get it
interesting
done.
proposition for all of us.
So many people. Money is not a problem in India. Plenty available in Coimbatore. I'll get it invested for you.
And regarding your question about the social relevance, so I have a patent for recovering chromium and iron from chromium-bearing waste, which is dumped in the 𝗂𝗏𝗏 for more than 20 years. So I have an Indian patent, but even this was published, this was granted 4 years before. But I have not received any inquiry from industry or anybody else actually.
It should be known to the relevant industry. If your project is known to the relevant industry, and they will definitely coming up with this. You share it with me, sir. I'm in the part of an association. I'll be able to spread the message. If anybody has done some good project, good IPs available, you can share it with us. We will circulate to our members. We'll get you the right investor for you.
Thank you, sir. Due to lack of time, I'm cutting short. But this is the platform for you to share. No, there's a lot of networking. The whole intent of is to exchange that. Yeah, please. This will be the last question, no?
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. I am Hannah, budding researcher. Sir, you all told about the starting stage of companies coming to IPs and want to collaborate with the industries. My question is that even it's already discussed with academic and industry collaboration, but will the floor be open with the, of course, sir from Bosch company and CODISSIA and all the companies? Will the floor be open for rehabilitation of SMEs? Because academics who come from a new perspective, they have to start from scratch, from the idea, IP and everything. They have to optimize everything from scratch. But SMEs who are already there, in layman terms, they are in sickness somewhat, but they already possess some sort of technology. They need some sort of support. So will the floor be open for rehabilitation of SMEs in precision engineering or sort of any sort of industry? Will the floor be open for them?
So if I try to build on your question, you want access to the equipments or testing facilities within the companies for the SMEs to capitalize on. Is that primary? When you say floor will be open, you want access to...
Like how they can approach, or they are actually coming for any sort of support to ask from the industry.
So before my panel takes it, but one of the primary intention of University Research Park, actually it's a platform to provide all these accesses, right? In fact, there's a portal called iSTEM, that's from the Principal Scientific Advisor's Office, which has mapped all the equipments available across all the big universities in the country, so that any researcher, if you want a specific equipment you can use, you can search for it, book and go and use. That's one. But Dinesh is also now trying to build on that and address the gaps there, to connect these kind of needs. So URP will play a big role in opening several floors that could be inside corporate, inside academia, inside some incubators, so that, in fact, Vish also talked about this as part of his proposal, right? So it is to make use of, the common facilities available. Anybody wants to add further on that? Yeah.
I'll try to understand your question. He's talking about some rehabilitation of SMEs. Are you doing research in that?
I want to do.
You want to do it? Okay.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of doing this research? Any idea you have? I'll try to help you out.
Because, sir, from the persons I know who are like auditors, when I talk and interact with them, they are saying like MSMEs are going through a lot of like downfalls.
That's our job. That's what we are doing it. Yes.
Yes.
I can answer you. I can give you some hints.
Okay.
Because MSMEs challenges are, it's not very simple. It is complex. Every industry has got its own challenges. So to address for that only our association is there. They have a different type of challenges. For each challenge, we have to address separately. If you are talking about failure, or a sick company, you have mentioned about sick also. Sick company rehabilitation, there are a lot of programs are there. Government itself having a programs. Okay, if you are, you can talk to, even to meet, I will introduce to one banker here. How many companies are becoming NPA every month? You can talk to them, find out the reason. That will be very useful for your research. And before doing it, you have to identify what is going to be your future when you do this work. How it is going to enhance your life. For researchers, I will give you one hint. You go to the market. Think of commercialization first. Your research should bring you some more money. Correct? Work on this one, because I am a businessman. When you do a research, tomorrow I have to convert as a business, bring money. How will you bring this money? Whether you are going to be an advisor for this, think of something and do it. Sure. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you once again to all my panel members and to the awesome audience. Over to you.
So many perspectives, thoughts, experiences, and ideas. Sometimes the most valuable conversations bring out many bitter truths, but those truths help us reflect, learn, and grow. We truly appreciate the time and effort our panelists took to share their knowledge with us today. I would now like to request Mr. Dinesh Kumar to kindly come forward on stage to present the mementos to our speakers. First, I request Mr. Dinesh to honor Mr. Nixon Raj. Next, we would like to honor Mr. Ponram. We would now like to present a memento to Mr. Mohan Krishnaswamy. It is our pleasure to honor Dr. Chandrasekar. We would now like to honor Mr. Vivekanandhan. Pleasure is ours to honor Dr. Brakaspathy.